For our next session, entitled WAAD, or Webi as a Dashboard, from Anolik, one of my favorite presenters and favorite people, he's going to show you something pretty amazing this afternoon. He did a session at the Let's Speak BO experience back in June, and it truly blew people's socks off when they could see what is actually possible today with web intelligence. Alan often refers to himself as a web intelligence fanatic. And he really is, and he absolutely loves the tool. And now, you know, he's been set on fire by some of these new capabilities that he's going to share with you today. So Alan, if you want to share your video so we can see you.
Well,
there you are, yeah. Just being shy, I know. Not Alan.
Yeah. That's
Okay, so I'll hand over to you, Alan, so you can go ahead now and share your screen.
Cool. Well, hello everyone. Paul, thanks for the kind words and thanks for having me. And yeah, we had a lot of fun at IBIS, and we're able to show some really incredible things here. So what I'm trying to do is share my screen. Get that. There we go. All right. And if you guys are seeing a web intelligence dashboard, please do let me know. We good?
We are.
I'm assuming we're good.
We can see it. It looks great.
Sweet. Okay. So I'm going to try to run through things not too fast, but rather quickly, because what I also want to do is show you how you can do some of these things on your own within this dashboard that we've already built. This is a live production dashboard, by the way. The only thing we've done is we've made a save as so it doesn't turn over every minute because it's live off of real-time data. But we also want to show you how if you don't have an extension tool or you're not good at SDKs and things of that nature, how we can do some really cool things in Webi itself. And so I switched my Google tabs here to show you what we're going to try to build on our own, right? We are going to be able to use a drop down to change some charts down here. We're going to use a element link to disappear a chart. We're going to then get another chart to appear here when we do a drop down, and we are going to be able to turn our metrics over on every chart with a single click. And my favorite one, which is really why I want to do this, is we are able to use introdoc link as a filter. So if a user just wanted to say May as a pretty high volume month, we can simply click it, and we're going to get an introdoc link over here. I just have May, right? So that was something we were told that we cannot do, which is something that we do not accept. So it can be done, and hopefully I'll be able to show you guys how to do all of those things, plus how easy Need for Viz can be. Okay, so Need for Viz is a custom extension to the Web Intelligence product. It is non-obtrusive, and it is easy as heck to install. It took me under 30 minutes, and anyone that knows me knows that shouldn't happen. It should take me like 3 hours, maybe 3 days. And this took me 30 minutes. Now, if you want to patch your system, if you're doing an on-prem deployment, again, it's non-obtrusive. So once you deploy it, it's there. If you patch, it's still going to be there. So it's very non-burdensome on your system. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the dashboard here. So every component that you're looking on here, save for this little line blast, is a Need for Viz component. We have a navigation to be able to click a radio button and turn over what measure we're going to look for in this chart. We're going to have a feature here that's going to tell you what you're looking at. I particularly love this chart. You can just drill right in. Look how quick that is. Boom. I'm down to literally the minute on a day, going back a week, right? And I can do that for today. This is the last time I ran, refreshed it a little bit beforehand. And it's just, it's lightning quick. We also have our enhanced KPI scorecards. This is great because not only is it giving you your KPI, it is giving you calculations based on your KPI, and you can set a trend. And again, this is all very easy to do. They also provide for us out of the box Sankey charts, which I absolutely love if you use them correctly, right? It provides us various different pies. This is a variable pie chart using 2 different measures. And this is interactive with its Sankey partner here. So your most of your need for viz elements that are custom, we're also going to be able to use them as a filter, which is amazing. This is a multi-chart. So instead of having to do a bunch of tricks in Webi and formulas to be able to turn your charts, you can just simply click here and you have a multitude of options. I love this one. This is my favorite one, but if you don't like the transparent background, come here, get a little more solid. You can grab yourself bars. You can even go and grab yourself some radial charts and things of that nature. And again, you know, my favorite part about it is that it's just absolutely lightning fast. All right, so we also have an introdoc link, right? A Webi 4.2 feature that we love to use. Our users love it. They can just simply click right there and they're going to be taken to their next report. Now this next one, instead of being a real-time with a 7-day drill down dashboard, this one is going to give us a longer perspective, plus allow us to drill into our delays at our mine site. Again, we have a lot of custom need for viz components in here. We have a drop down for the whole report, so we can filter by just a single crew. We have a spark time or a timeline chart, which we can interact with very easily and simply. I love this. You can just, it's a calendar. That's great. It's so convenient. And again, you can use the feature to be able to zoom in very specifically. And you can also set this zoom when you go to your properties, and we'll show you how to do that. We have a combo of our BCMs by equipment as well as the delays. And we have one of my personal favorites, the pictorial graph that is interactive within itself. Again, lightning quick. And another one of my favorites is what the Need for Viz guys and myself call Excel in Webi. And this is great. So you notice you'll keep your header up at the top. I customize this top label for my client's company main color. You can sort column. You can hide columns if you don't want to see something. Get it back. Say we don't want to see this, or the comments are too much for us. We can easily add them back. We can filter each one of these columns. You can filter it to a floating, such as that, right? Clear it. Or we can select, just like in Excel. Go ahead and clear. So that to me is unbelievably powerful. And you know, one of the strengths of Webi is being able to combine the interactivity, infographics, but still be able to report, still have your row level details that you can easily get into an easily manipulatable tab. Now, a lot of people will take those and go into Excel and do these kind of things. Now we can keep them in Web Intelligence, and as they interact with their report, they're going to interact with their spreadsheet. So let's see what happens when we drill down on a piece of equipment. So we got a drill, and it affected our whole report. We're going to tell the user what they selected, And then we're going to drill down into this. I'm going to drill into operating, my general operating. And then what is great, and we didn't have this available yet when we were at IBIS, and this is how quickly this product is moving and gaining steam, is now these drillable charts at the bottom level of the hierarchy, we can then use an element link to either filter the whole report, or we can do what I do and filter this bottom spreadsheet. That way we don't have to go searching in our Webi and Excel and find what we're looking for. It's all right there when we drilled into it, right? And again, we're in need for viz, so we can stay outside of the input controls and clear your filter with a simple reset, or we can do what we traditionally do and clear it with a click, and our original chart will turn over. We can come here and select crew from that dropdown, which again leaves us, the user doesn't have to use the input control. They can navigate the report and dashboard logically like they're used to. Now, if you'll notice, we selected a crew and boom, we turned over. And because if you select one crew and you're looking at a crew pictorial that divides it up by crew, what's the point of that, right? So we can get out what I would call at that point, that becomes chart junk, get it out of the report, hide it, and then we can essentially drill down into the crew's performance here. Now, when we go back to all values, it's going to hide that particular heat map because there would just be a lot on there, and we have our crew again. And we have one of our lovely show me tricks here where we can say, okay, say you don't want to see a donut, we can change that donut to a bar. Now, let's say we have a scenario where we want to edit one of our need for viz components. People say, oh, well, this is nice. How long did it take you? How hard is it? Blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, it was not hard. It was easy. It's Webi. And two, it took me barely any time at all. I was under the gun. I think we had like a day to get the design ready. And then, of course, we had some time to refine it. But this was not like a couple months long project. There was no custom coding. This is out of the box. So if we right click, let's go and assign data. I'm going to add a measure. Add this. Look. Hold on, I messed it up. Assign data. All right, now there we go. All right, let's add some tunnies to our BCM. In a matter of a click, now you have two axes, right? And you can highlight which one you want to look at, and then we can actually go in and we can edit how these appear if you don't like it, right? So let's say we want to see two curves. We're always going to go to extended parameters when we're editing our need for viz components. It's very, very intuitive. Options for measure 2, type, columns. Let's go with curves. Simply press apply like we're used to. And now we have two sets of curves that exist on two separate axes. If we want to put them on the same axes, we can come down here. And of course, we have a great little question, which y-axis? Is measure 1 or new? I like them on a new. We can label it if we want to make it a little bit for the user. We can also set min and max. I don't see it as very necessary for this particular chart, as it's kind of adding us up a little chart junk. And it looks like I got a little stuck here.
While you're looking at that, Alan, a couple of quick questions. Is this just data that is returned in a Webi report, and every time you change the filters, you're refreshing Webi, or is it filtering and returning the Webi report data?
I let me try to understand that question. I mean, this is all Webi data, right? So when you're filtering on your own data. It's not like we had to fill these components with anything special, if that was the question. For instance, when we look at these, we go to assign data. It's just your regular Webi data, right? I mean, this says selected measure because we were using a trick to turn the measure over and back before we added the need for viz component. But no, I mean this is all Webi. This is all your Webi data, and the particular data that we are using isn't from a spreadsheet or anything like that. It's actually quite an insane set of queries because we don't have a lot of time and room to develop our databases properly. Like we don't have a lot of time to do Kimball methodology and things like that. So this is a lot of different queries. There's a lot of merged dimensions. There's a lot of Webi work that goes into the actual data. But as far as your need for viz, it's here. Let's build something together.
So basically what you're saying, Alan, is you're just taking the data set that Webi has brought back from the queries, and that's right. Obviously, what you're using, like an instance and so forth. So it's all Webi.
Right, exactly.
I think the concern is how much data can it handle. But the answer to that is how much can Webi handle.
Exactly.
Because it's not really doing anything different to what you could do in any other feature function in Web Intelligence. Another question that came up was, what version are you using, and what's the trick in not having the charts stick in Webi? Obviously there's some neat tricks going on there to make that look so smooth.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so let me answer the first question. There's a lot of data that goes into here, and so I don't have time to do Kimball methodology when I'm working on these databases, but we still optimize them as well as we can. We still do ETL that makes a lot of sense. So we're pulling in a couple million rows into here. I mean, we're drilling in to the minute on this live dashboard. Plus, we're going back all time to 2017 when we set up this company on our surface mine data. So there's a lot of data that goes into this report, and if your web intelligence for whatever reason can't handle a few million rows, then yeah, you might have some issues with your need for viz components. But the need for viz components are actually, for me, when they're working within themselves, they're lightning fast. They're lightning fast. And again, there's no limit on that. It's more of the limit of what you can bring into your own report. And as soon as they go into that need for viz component, they're lightning quick. So just real quick, let's build a need for viz component on our own. So we all know how to do this, by the way, but in case we don't, right click. We're going to turn it into something. We're going to go to more transformations, and we're going to do what we normally do, right? We normally would come here and we try to build any sort of need for viz or any sort of Webi component that we want here, but we have our need for viz components will just show up right here, just like a normal Webi one would. And I forgot to ask what version of Business Objects I'm on. I'm on 4.2 SP8, which we upgraded in June. When we first started this project, we were on 4.2 SP3, and you have to be on 4.2 SP3 if you want to take advantage of the awesome product that we have here. So I'm just arranging my data here because I understand the hierarchy, because unfortunately I've been working with this company's data before they started this new company. So it's been a long time. But so you saw how easy that was. I didn't have to do anything special. I just had data that made sense. 3 dimensions, 1 measure. It's very common for what we all do here. And now I have this awesome circle packing, right? These are our types of delays. And each one of these is going to represent a category that we can drill into. So let's drill into engine for mechanical repairs. Now we then get bubbles that will tell us each delay in the engine category. We can simply click out, and we're focused still on the delay category that we originally clicked into, or we can do one more click and we have all of our circles. Now we can start at the very bottom of the hierarchy. If we see a bubble that really interested us, simply click it, boom, you're taken out. You can click its outer circle and see the other pieces of, or the other delays that are related to it. Click again, and you have its another circle. Click out. Or if you just want to go in, out, in, out. It's great. I love it. You can do that in Web Intelligence.
You're having too much fun, Alan. You're having too much fun.
I know, there's something absolutely wrong with me. All right. Now we only have a couple minutes left. Instead of building this dashboard, maybe we save it for another time, but I know we had questions on how the heck we did some of this stuff. So let's take a look really quickly in these last 5 minutes. So let's start with one of my favorite tricks. It's the ability to pass a measure as an input control through either a single chart or all of your charts. We define a single dimension. We're gonna actually give it blank. This is Webi filling that in for me. Once I use an input control, I'm then gonna do a selected measure formula, and I can put these in a document and give them to Uncle Paulie and let them proliferate it to all y'all here. But it's a very simple if then. If your metric in your input control says raw, then give me raw feed. If it's clean coal, yada yada, right? Now the trick to getting that work is going and creating the actual input control. Actually, whoops, this is the Need for Viz version. We come in here, we're gonna call it metric. You have to create a custom list of values, right? Raw, clean, plant. Then I don't like to be able to select all values because then that creates kind of an issue unless you do another hide win trick, which we've done before, but I set the default as raw here. Then you simply press OK. Now we can flip all of our measures. Flip it back to raw. Okay, now we want to click on, let's say, clear this filter. You notice that it changed this right here. I click here and it gives me a new chart. Right, well that's simply because I have a nifty little hide win formula. So I like to use the events that are happening on your clicks to be able to guide the user, right? So when the count of shift is greater than 1, right? So there's 2 shifts here because we haven't clicked on a shift, right? Or the count of crew is 1, then we're going to go ahead and hide that, right? So we're on 1 shift, so we're right here. So if we clear that filter, he goes away, and another one turns up where we have our opposite hide one. This one goes away when the shift count is 1. And because we haven't clicked on a shift, he's still going to be there. We have the same concept with this crew drop down. So instead of using a element link event in your report or account, well, we'll do the same thing here actually. You click crew, and because it's just 1 crew, you're going to get this. It's going to take away your crew stack, right? Because why do you need to just see a stack of 1? We're going to get a stack of the shifts for the crew, and then we're going to get a nice neat little heat map. All right. What I want to do here in my last couple minutes is I want to show you how we were able to do the trick to be able to dump this data. Okay, so this is using the reference cell tricks. So what we did here, there's a hidden cell. We call it filter cell. I'm going to show it for us. I have it here, but it can be anywhere. Right now it says multi-value, right? But whenever we click on a date, it now says that date, right? And because we've used our hide when tricks, we put a hide when that when the report month count equals 1, and remember the count now equals 1 because we've clicked on 1 month. So the count is 1, right? When that is on 1, it goes away and disappears. Or you could keep it and you could have this appear somewhere else, right? I chose for the purposes of this demonstration to have it go away, right? Once it goes away, then you say click, and now we get everything filtered over. That one, I think, as you know, as we start getting more familiar with it, I think there's going to be a lot of really unique use cases that, you know, the community can use to be able to do that. Because they had told us we can't use introdoc links as a filter. Well, yes, you actually can.
So there's a quick question
go
there,
ahead.
Alan. On this particular customer that you're running this dashboard on, how many CPUs are employed on the server? You know?
I don't. I do know that it is, I think I have 500 gigs in my C drive and I have 299 in my D drive, and it's just a single installation. But that's not my area of expertise. But if you want to shoot Paul an email with a more specific question about it, I can get the information for you.
Right. Carry on, because this is exciting.
I'm very, very close to the end here, but I do want to actually show you guys how to do a chart trick if we can, if we have time here. Whoop. So I'm going to do month. I am going to do shift. I'm going to do selected measure, and then I'm going to do shift total. Right, and if you notice, our shift total repeats, and that's because we have used our friendly for all, right? Selected measure, or whatever measure you put in here for all the shifts, is gonna give you the total of 163 plus 156,000, right? Why that's important is because that's gonna be our total on the stack. Now, let's turn this into a column. Combined. Okay, and we can see that's not what we want. So we assign the data, get your shift out of here, get it in here. Okay, this still doesn't look right? Okay, real quick. Format data series. God, I'm up against the gun here. Go away. Okay. All right, one more. I'm a minute over. I'm sorry, Paul. Just 1 second. They're gonna love this. I guarantee you, they're gonna love this because this drives me nuts.
You're good.
Okay,
we want to see the end.
You're the best. You're the best. Okay, now we have those totals, right? Still not right. First of all, get rid of this because we can make our own custom legends because we know how to use Webi and we are crazy. Okay, now still not right. We still don't like it. Let's go over here. Let's go to value axes, globally stacked chart. Boom. We have a total on our stack. And if we want to, we can make this a little bit bigger. We can make it horizontal, and we can put each individual measurement in here. So you can have your bottom total appear, your top total appear, and then your total appear. And you saw how quick that was. I mean, I know I'm rushing, but again, I still did it, right? Within a few, maybe a minute or two. So I apologize. I wasn't able to get to kind of showing, you know, real on a slower cadence how we build this, but maybe next time we'll take a little bit more time to show how we connect these all together. If there are any questions, I can definitely take some, or Paul, you could yank me out and move on to the next guy.
No, this is absolutely awesome. Yeah, I mean, people are asking, and I can't type fast enough because I'm just a two-fingered typist, as you know, about, you know, the deployment. And so
yes.
I was trying to explain that it's available both on-premise and, you know, in the cloud as well. But people are saying, well, what do you mean? You know, in terms of how you access the actual components themselves.
Yep.
So do you want to talk a little bit about those deployment models?
Yes. So there are two deployment models. There is an on-prem version where you download a zip file and you simply put it as a patch on your server, whatever server you're using, or you can do another server and connect them if you're a real big geek, which I am not. I was lucky and I was able to choose the cloud deployment, and it's very, very simple. So I'm going to go up here in my CMC to applications, right? And I'm going to go here to Web Intelligence, Properties. They give us a custom element, and it is seriously as easy as this. Okay, so here's my service URL. I got to make sure I have my correct service name here. You add a service. I believe this was N4V bars, right? Accept the risk, and you test. Boom, test successful. Media type is text and HTML, that's correct. I'm already using it, so it's going to scream at me, but it's as easy as that. Easy as that. So what will happen if you choose a cloud deployment, the guys over in Paris, France, that's Paris, France, will send you an awesome little PowerPoint, and it'll give you all of your specific URLs and component names that you've ordered, and you go and simply add the service, and you test to make sure you're good, and you will come back into BO, you will refresh, and you will be able to turn this into whatever the heck you want, depending on what you got from the guys. I mean, it has been a majorly game changer for my client, for me personally, and I think it's going to be huge for the tool because it gives us that all in one. We don't have to lose our investment. We don't have to lose our security, all that work. We don't have to lose the ability to report and do awesome data transformations. We can do all those things, and we can interact awesomely and extend the product. And these guys are so responsive that literally there are more features that I now have in this dashboard versus when I presented at IBIS, which was, what, 2 months ago? Right? And I have a full-time job and I'm a consultant, so it's not like I have a lot of time. No offense, Uncle Paulie, to make beautiful presentations for BOCUG. I just don't, right? I have to do this, and Need for Viz is just boom, so quick, so easy, and it's going to be huge.
Right. No, I
I'll tell you
completely
that.
agree. And people are asking about all the different types of charts. You can just go to needforviz.com. And Laura will put that in the chat for everyone, www.needforviz.com. And you will see a gallery of all the different chart types available with live demos of those charts that you can play with as well. They don't just have some of the charts that Alan showed you, they can integrate with Google Maps. And so
Yeah.
now you can have live Google Maps inside of your Webi reports. They've got great navigation capabilities for components as well. He showed you some of the Sankey charts there. There's a ton of stuff. Infosol resells these solutions over here. Alan can also assist as well. Just reach out to us if you want to give you more information, pricing, and also with regards to just trying them out for different use cases. Obviously, you can see that Alan has had a lot of fun with them.
Yeah, great. And real quick before we go, I actually had a complaint to the Need for Viz guys about their Google Maps. I was like, well, I can't see a chart. I have no idea what these bubble represents. They said, yes. And they made the change in a day. And by the time I got this to my client, he had his legend and they just click on this kind of stuff all day. Set it up a while ago. It's almost been 3 months now, and they push it on the fly and do as they please with it. It's really, really cool.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much again, Alan. That was awesome.